All right, it's Friday, December 1st. This is an end of the day and end of the week SPY recap. And today we end up with a 2-up green day that takes out the high the previous day, works towards its first target here, which is the high on Wednesday, and then continues up to our green line target, which we've had in play for quite a while now. That was the monthly chart here that we expected as this green bar had a 2-up month back last month. We expected this high to eventually be hit. This November ended yesterday, and then today we started straight up towards our target. And a big reason we had that target in play, in addition to the monthly chart, was a quarterly chart that when it failed on the downside and came up through the midpoint of that bar, we were expecting that high to be taken out. So now we have an outside bar on the quarterly chart. Doesn't mean it can't, continue higher, but now we get into a position where while the targets are up here, if we do continue higher, at any point you can start getting a reversal out of this as well. Not anticipating that at the moment, but we have reference points to kind of now see, since targets have reached, whether we might pull back or even completely reverse. Although, you're going to have to get through this green bar to the downside, and that seems unlikely anytime soon, although we could come back, to the halfway point of that bar on any kind of a pullback. And the reference points now, if we look at the weekly chart, this starts... well, we ended this week with a green bar, so you kind of expect the high to be tested next week. We know what the midpoint of that bar is, and we also know that the open of today is the open of the month, this purple line. So in other words, if we get some kind of a downward move next week that gives us a 2-down day, that also turns the monthly chart red, and for the moment, the continuity, anything below that, the continuity goes to the downside here on this monthly chart. We did take out the high, and it's possible we start, at this point, if we go below the open, we can get red and head down into some gaps. This weekly chart's been up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row. A 2-down week can take you down into this whole gap area. So there's a lot of pullback possibilities now. The targets have been reached, but we also know the reference points. So initially, we want to, if we will see tomorrow or on Monday, if we hold the midpoint of that bar and continue up. Because we did have consolidation in this area for a while, and this could be a whole nother leg up. But we could go up, for just a day on Monday, and then maybe, Tuesday or even Monday, we can come back to the halfway point of that bar. That will kind of signal we're going to be heading towards the, an outside bar down here, which will trigger the monthly chart red and everything. So there's some reference points now to kind of know whether we're going to get a pullback or continuation. But the key thing today was that after yesterday's hammer bar, you felt very good about continuation to the upside. And we held the midpoint of today, opened near the pre-market lows, but then immediately started up and continued to hit targets. So if you look at the 15-minute chart, we opened up near the bottom of the pre-market range, but we immediately went up on bar 1 and bar 2, so there's a buy signal. We took out yesterday's high on the first move. There was your pause. We came down, kind of paused to the first halfway point of the first bar, then started up again, took out our intraday high, the pre-market high, then worked straight up to our green target, and that's why you found the selling right there. And then you had an orderly pullback, very late in the day, a little green bar that didn't really, it kind of followed through after hours, to test that high again, but we really, have to see where things go on Monday. But we do have the green bar, so you kind of expect that high to be tested. But at this point, given big picture targets have been reached, we could be, looking for failures as well. But, I don't know. I'm just trying to think on the monthly chart. This is the point. If we don't get a deep pullback, then kind of we will start considering, the yearly highs being taken out, and we'll go from there. But at this point, the good trades all along were on this 2-up month was to come up to that target, and we finally got there today. And then, especially after seeing yesterday's failure at the low end of the range, this follow through is very much anticipated, and it obviously developed. So we will see how things unfold for the rest of the month. But today was all upside, and big green line. We've had that for a long time in here as we were heading up as our target, and we finally got there today. So let's see how things go for the rest of the month.